Inma Zanoguera grew up in Spain, played her college basketball at Toledo, graduating in 2015 before returning to Europe to play professionally. That's where the former first-team All-MAC player learned from her sister that their birth mother was from Africa, setting in motion the chain of events that led her to train for a marathon in the Sahara and a growing interest in the refugee camps found there.
You know how people say you can only connect the dots when you look backward? So I feel like this is kind of what it was for me. A lot of things that I've done I didn't know were preparing me maybe for a bigger trip.
Her basketball background has helped her prepare for the challenge that is just as much mental as physical.
Things don't always go as planned, and we have little say in our future almost. There are some things that we can control, but there are a lot of things that we cannot control that are in a way maybe planned for us beforehand, and you have to be humble enough to realize when something is not working out and be brave enough to set out to discover what your true path is. I don't know what goes through the mind of a refugee, and nobody does unless you have been in that situation. And part of the struggle for me is trying to put myself in a humble position where I just, accept that I don't know what they're going through, and I'm going there to learn.
Inma's working with a Canadian filmmaker to document her story, her run home, to raise funds and awareness for the refugee camps.
We are very intentional with everything that we put out, and we both have the same goal in mind, which is to do our best from our privileged point of view to show other people what it means to be in exile, to be a refugee, to depend on humanitarian aid for generations upon generations, to have no future, to have no hope. What do I know about that? Nothing. But I know that I have a DNA tie to it, and I know that I have some power to tell the story. So that's my only goal. That's my humble role in this, is to let the world know. I was on the phone the other day with a guy named Muley. He was born and grew up in the camps. He's now, I think, 20-something, so his family even has been there for a long, long time, and he's right now in the States, and we were talking about he was telling me what it means to him that I would do a documentary about this story, and I told him, look, sometimes I'm a little bit scared that it's going to be too much about me, because that was not the intention behind it. And he said words that really jumped out at me. By telling your story, you're telling the story of over 100,000 people that don't get to tell it. And that was a reminder of the reason why I'm doing this.
For Rocket Roundup, Mark Coons.